Okay, so speaking about getting up from Sheva brachas. So, I mean, this parak is all about Shiva. Right? This parak is all about Shiva. So, yeah, I guess that was a segue or whatever. But anyway, so
What are we holding?
we're on starting the new parak, third parak.
You'd Gimel Amud Beis, the Mishnah, the new parak.
Yeah. So we start with first the. I mean, this Mishnah is really it's unbelievable how packed it is with halacha. That's very nageya. But we'll see. We'll go through the Gemaras and try and do as much as we can halachically. You know, the halachas. Yeah.
Jacob, so before you start, I posted a chart from today. It's a very good cheat. It's a very good chart. I saw
this chart. I couldn't make. I'm not a good chart guy. I saw this chart you posted. I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. I mean, I didn't work too hard.
It's a very good cheat chart.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right.
Oh, for I hear. Oh, Peretz is here. Okay. You're muted, Peretz. I don't know if you're talking to us.
Just making sure you're recording.
Yes, I'm recording.
Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. I'm going to catch you on the YouTube.
All right.
On the
See you there. See you there. Yeah, these are the ones that are allowed to take haircuts on chol hamoed. Anybody who comes from overseas, and we base Hashivya, and somebody who was captured by Yotzim Ve'Sosurin, and somebody comes out of jail. So those two are similar. One is just kidnapped. The other one is who came from jail. Somebody who was what do you call it? In Chayrim, and the Chachamim mattered his Chayrim. Meaning when he's in Chayrim, so we're going to see in the Gemara, he's not allowed to do laundry, he's not allowed to cut his hair. So therefore, if they let him out of the Chayrim on chol hamoed, then he's allowed to take a haircut. The same thing if somebody, he made a neder not to take a haircut or anything like that, and then the Chacham matters it on chol hamoed, then he's also allowed to take a haircut. And a Nazir and a Mitzayra who goes from Tumah to Tahara. Okay, there's a little bit of chiluk.
Did he have an opportunity? The person made the shvuah or whatever, the neder, did he have an opportunity to ask the Chacham before Yom Tov?
So l'chayra has to be that the Chacham didn't have time, right?
Right. Because if you have an opportunity, why isn't he different than anyone else?
Right, that's a good point. Yes, right. What Akiva is saying. I mean, all these cases are cases that he didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice. So since only the first time he could take a haircut was on chol hamoed, so therefore they're allowed to take haircuts on chol hamoed. But so why couldn't the guy get his neder taken care of before chol hamoed? Must be the rabbi wasn't available.
I'm sorry. What's driving to take it on chol hamoed? Why can't you wait till after? Does he have to take it for a chassan or for a bar mitzvah? What's he taking it for?
There's no chassanas on chol hamoed.
I understand that exactly. That's my point. Meaning, what's driving? Why can't he wait till after Yom Tov?
He wants to get, just like you want to get a haircut before Yom Tov, he wants to get a haircut before.
Yeah.
So if I didn't cut my nails before, so I don't cut it till after Yom Tov. What do you mean? I want to. I want is not an answer.
No, what do you mean? The covered Yom Tov. He wants to look good on Yom Tov.
He's not. If he didn't do it before Yom Tov, he's not allowed to do it.
But he was aynus. He was aynus.
Good, so wait till after Yom Tov.
No, because the covered Yom Tov. He wants even, and let's say not. Let's say he just wants to.
What? I want
your question. To answer your question, you first have to figure out why it's usur to take a haircut on chol hamoed. First, understand why. Why should it be usur?
Why is it usur?
That's that we're gonna have to see in the Gemara. But when you think about it, first of all, there's a different kasha. Maybe it should be usur atzma. Okay, let's wait to the Gemara. Let's wait to the Gemara, then we'll see. Yeah. So, anyways, anybody that doesn't have a choice, and then there's an amazing. I hate to use today's.
You told us why it's usur. We had it before. You told us.
What? Well, the Gemara. Okay, well, let's see the Gemara. But there's an amazing. Again, I hate to use a heintige lashon of amazing. Everything's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, but amazing. But it is an amazing kula from Rav Soloveitchik that Ramosha actually, I think, entertains a havamina on this too. But when you analyze the halacha, it's pretty much sounds like that should be the halacha. But let's see. Anyways, so those are the ones that are allowed to take haircuts, and really tiglachas really doesn't. I mean, it means a haircut, right? Shaving. Well, we'll see. Yeah, fine. And these are the ones that are allowed to do laundry on chol hamoed. The same people. Right? From he was kidnapped. Somebody comes out of jail. And somebody who was in chayrim and the chachamim let him out. And somebody asks about his neder to a chacham and he matters it. Right? Agarada, just somebody asked me a real interesting hataras nedorim shaila yesterday. The guy made a neder to his grandfather who's buried in Eretz Yisrael. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Somebody made a neder to the grandfather who's buried in Eretz Yisrael that they're going to come invite him to their wedding before they get married. And now they're getting married in a month, and with the whole corona and all that, they can't. It's very difficult to get to Israel. So do they have to keep this neder?
Why can't they send the shliach?
That's what they asked, and they send the shliach. And should they be matin neder? So I said, do both. No, because I'm not such a chacham, so I couldn't give him a good answer. So I said, do both. Be matin neder and send the shliach. Fine, and then we're covered.
Send the shliach. Have him do it over Zoom.
I mean, plenty of people are able to go to Israel now. No.
Right. So I guess because of with the getting clearance and the tests, and it's a month before. I don't know. Whatever it is, I should have said I'll be the shliach. That's right. Really, I should have said that, but I wasn't thinking. Okay.
You can still text them. You can still text them back.
I don't remember who it is. I'd have to search my phone. I don't know who it was in the first place either way, but I should have said that. Anyways, yeah. So right, then mitvichois hayadayim, hand towels, umitvichois hasaparim, and the barber's towels, umitvichois hasvag, and absorbing towels. That's a literal translation, which means showering, towels. Now, let's stop right there for a second. So these things we're saying you're allowed to do laundry on. So hand towels, shower towels, and for barbers, right? Now this is going to change based on society. This is an important halacha to know, b'negea to laundry on chol hamoed. So nowadays, hand towels, the question is, first of all, it's a question. Is it better to go buy new ones than to wash? Right, that's one. So meaning nowadays that hand towels are not so expensive, obviously depending on the finances. With all these things with laundry, it's chol hamoed we paskin, it's better to buy, even though buying, we learned in the last parak, buying is not so simple either. But buying is certainly better than washing. And that's one. Two is it really depends. Now, most people, or many people, as far as I know, will go a bunch of days without washing their bath towels. Especially the hotels that they sell you on. We're trying to save the environment, so can you use your towel more than once? Yeah, they're saving the environment, right? But okay, but the bottom line is it's accepted to use a towel a bunch of times. So therefore, try and use the same towel on chol hamoed, even though the Mishnah says it's mutter. But if the society, obviously it depends on what type of towels, it depends how you use the towels, etc., etc. But if your normal mahalach is not to use them so often, then it's not a problem. Meaning the reason why you can't do laundry is because it's covered for Yom Tov. Even though it's a tzaraas Yom Tov, so you should be able to do it, right? But we don't want you to do it. We'll see in the Gemara. But the point is that if the scenario changes, then it's okay. Like a lot of places can say that underwear and socks that we change every day, a person's not mechuyev to have, and sometimes multiple times in a day, a person's not mechuyev to have 10 pairs of underwear to get them through. I think many people have anyways, but I'm just saying if you.
So you're allowed to wash them in the 9 days? So you need to have 9 pairs for the 9 days.
Correct.
So now you're saying I'm saying so you do need to have 9 pairs.
So the 9 days has a similar din, although in the 9 days we say it's better to wash than to buy.
I thought you said on chol hamoed you could do on malacha that most people would do. Meaning, correct. Who says that? I'm saying, are you going by how often you wash your bathrobe? You just said, or are you going by how often people normally wash their bathrobe? You yourself. But I thought we learned in the tent on Sukkot You were saying that it goes by the world. You see, I was listening while I was smoking my cigar.
That's pretty good.
Right?
Jacob,
So
I was going to say, here we thought he was sitting outside smoking a cigar.
You
You know what? He must not have been smoking the cigar at that point. He must have been smoking something else.
No, that's probably when it started raining for a minute.
Right.
I'll tell you.
It is. The part had to sit inside. No, but seriously, I thought it goes by what the world does.
He's probably talking of a different aspect that goes by the cloud.
What?
It depends.
Malacha,
What. I don't
malacha.
remember. I don't remember what we.
It was a different thing. He was talking about with the guy going to the airport and that stuff. What you know?
I'm
It
saying,
wasn't talking about laundry.
in general, it goes by what the world does.
Landa happens to be right. He's remembering correctly. That's what he was saying in the 10.
It goes by the
what?
world.
About
It
what
goes
they
by
gave
I
the
mean, this
world.
part of the world,
If
people wash their
the
underwear
island is
every
nice
day.
to shower every day to change your undergarments, then
Exactly.
that, you know, and you have to
That's
do that.
true.
You do that.
That's
Right.
true, 100%.
But you just said differently. You said it's on personal.
No, but I'm just saying, yes, it would not be schwer for you to wash your underwear, towels, if because that's the norm nowadays. But if you yourself don't normally do it, so then what's the heter? Why should you do it?
Because
don't
the
do
world does.
Good, but if you don't do it on a regular week, why should you do it on chol hamoed?
Don't we
He's
also
got you there,
usually have
buddy.
more than one set of
Halacha is
towels?
halacha. You always say that. I'm saying, why should we have more machmar? For what?
Because you're talking about a suffix of a, well, it's not this is certainly not a deraisa, but it's, if you don't normally do it, then
And you're
Then,
saying
Why isn't it libud?
no, because it's a tzarech Yom Tov. It's a tzarech Yom Tov. He needs it. What are you saying, David? What were you saying?
You want to do like, if you need 3 pairs, you want to put in 8 pairs?
So very good. So normally, absolutely not. You could only wash what you need. But what the place can say that bisman hazeh that we wash in machines, then you're allowed to wash only. You're only allowed to wash what you need. See, we're going to see in the Gemara.
Jacob, you can think like a mindik. You can say it's a davar oven. You're going to do a full laundry with just 3 pairs of socks.
Aaron Kaplan, with Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says the same thing as you. He considers it maybe a davar oven to put in, because why would you use that much detergent on a few pieces of laundry? Maybe that's considered davar oven, and you can put in more laundry.
Wow.
Now,
But Yaakov, is it
Mamish
tearful?
Mechamed or Shlomo Zalman and Shmir Shabbos Kol Chasa, but you know what I mean? I think of Shlomo Zalman's finances were a little different.
Jacob,
than
I was
our
just making
finances.
fun of Bubby and Ziggy.
There you go. So Shlomo Zalman, you Mechamed. But anyway,
What about
Is this
what
how
about
tearful
Yom Tov?
Yisera also?
Tirchi Yisera for what?
I'm saying, is the issue of being mechabes, let's say washing, an issue of tirchi yisera? That's why we asked her to begin with? Or it's time, you shouldn't do any malacha on Yom Tov.
Well, both. It's both, and also you want to come into.
Well,
Yom Tov,
if it's tirchi yisera,
all your stuff
nowadays it's
laundered.
not a tirchi. To do laundry, if you have yourself a maid and the maid is doing your laundry, well, it's not tirchi yisera at
No,
all.
we don't allow mir lock.
So then is that because but it's not tirchi yisera? It's not all tirchi
It's
yisera
not,
not
and-
to allow.
Correct. But nowadays we can't, because the Metzias changed. We can't change the halacha. Once they
But
answered washing,
So what would
Once
be,
they
well,
ask
why
them-
was it asked back then? Because it's tirchi yisera, because it's be'etzem malacha.
that's a malacha. But if it's a tzarech Yom Tov, the malacha should be allowed. But they wanted us to be coming into Yom Tov with all our clothing laundered already before Yom Tov. So that's why they asked it.
So I'm asking, if I have to put in 3 pairs of underclothing, and I put in 7.
You can only put in 7. Most places can say you can put in 7, but not if they're for after Yom Tov.
What about Shabbos? What about it's Achron until Yom Tov goes into Shabbos?
That's a big shiloh also. How about shopping? How about shopping for Achron Shabbos? Right, that's the bigger one, right? Because you're shopping on chol hamoed for after Yom Tov, right? So that the place can say it's okay. That the place can say it's all right.
What about packing the pots for the after?
No, there's no isser hachana. There's no isser hachana from chol hamoed to after Yom Tov. There's an isser malacha for after Yom Tov. But anyways,
So we say ain't brera.
You still can't wash a bunch of things and say ain't brera.
I can wash. Why not? I can use any of them for Yom Tov.
What?
You mean if I'm only doing it for after Yom Tov? If I need 3 pairs for Yom Tov, can I wash 7 knowing that 4 will be for after Yom Tov?
You can't. No.
Why do we say ein breira on that?
Because you can't make a breira lechatchila. I think.
Which three am I going to use? I don't know.
I know, but you can't go put yourself in a breira because I think. I don't know. Okay, well, let's get moving because there's a lot to discuss. Yeah, fine. Because you see from the next halacha too, azavin, ba'azavos, va'nidas, va'yoldas. Now we're Yudalad and Aleph, 4 lines down.
Still in the Mishnah.
So still in the Mishnah. Zavin, Zavos, Nidas, Yalda, Vayoladas, all these people are having excretions from their body. So they're constantly soiling their clothing, which is where we're getting our underwear heta from. Because if we're constantly changing underwear, meaning the whole point is...
Yeah, this is like for the kid. This is the same as the kids.
Exactly. Kids always get their clothing dirty. Kids always get their clothing dirty. So then, my mother just walked in. If you're wondering what just happened, so kids get the clothing dirty, and people who are constantly getting things dirty, then it's not a lack of covet for Yom Tov. That's the whole side of it. Is it a lack of covet for Yom Tov or not? Meaning, if you didn't have a choice, you washed all your underwear before Yom Tov, right? And then it was very hot, so mainly you sweated through your underwear, and you have 10 pairs, but you changed a few times in the middle of the day, or whatever, and then or it was very hot, you took multiple showers, whatever it is. Now you ran out, so that's a normal thing. So then, therefore, it's allowed, right? Anybody that goes from tumah to tama, they're all mutar, but everybody else is asur. Okay, so it's all dependent on the person. So the Gemara asks, my time asur. So how come everybody else is asur to take haircuts? Why are only these fellows allowed to take haircuts and that's it? So like we learned in the Mishnah, Anshe Mishmar v'Anshe Moed, right? So we said that the Kohanim that were on duty, so they were asur in the saper l'chabes. They're not allowed to take haircuts or do laundry because, well, we'll see because, right? They're not allowed to do, when they're on duty, they're not allowed to take haircuts or do laundry. But on Thursday, it's mutar because of covet Shabbos. My time. What's the reason? Why are they also to do laundry and to take haircuts? We don't want them to come into their shmira when they're minuvala and take their haircuts then. So here too by chalamoy, we don't want you to come into Yom Tov when you're looking like a minuval, right? Meaning, since these guys in the Anshe Mishmar, they had a lot of downtime. I'm assuming I'm just embellishing the shop. They're off from work. They figure, why should I take a haircut and take off from work? Next week I'm going to be in the Beis HaMikdash. There's downtime at night. There's nothing to do at night in the Beis HaMikdash. I'll have one of my fellows give me a haircut and I'll do my laundry there, right? Why should I waste my time now? Same thing with Cholamayit. Everybody's off from work. At least they're supposed to be off from work. So they say, why should I get my haircut before Yom Tov? I'll get my haircut on Yom Tov. So the Chachamim made a gezerah that you should come into Yom Tov looking proper, and therefore it's fine.
So why don't we say that Lagabe shaving? That if somebody shaves before Yom Tov, that he should be able to shave on
very good,
4 second days. We only say that Lagabe cutting nails.
Okay, so one second. So nails. What about nails? The Gemara doesn't discuss nails. So nails. Lamaisa, you're also you're not lechatchila. You cannot cut your nails on Yom Tov.
Where's Landau? We did this in the tent also. Where is he?
Yeah. So lechatchila, you can't cut nails. That's when he was lighting up his cigar at that point. So he couldn't do 2 things at once.
I'm here.
No.
We also learned this from Shabbos. Didn't we have this in Shabbos? That if you can't prepare before Shabbos, then you can't do it on Shabbos. I'm saying that's why.
No. This is different. This is a gezerah that we wanted you to be neat coming into Yom Tov. So therefore, it's a thing. So now, but nails, it's a machlokes. Svardim hold that if you didn't cut your nails before Yom Tov, you're still allowed to cut your nails on Yom Tov, right? But Ashkenazim hold not. But if you did cut your nails, I'm sorry, Svardim don't hold that. But if you did cut your nails on Erev Yom Tov, then we hold that you're allowed to recut them on Yom Tov because you did your job. We don't say that by a haircut, like Akiva just wanted to say, because you took your haircut before Yom Tov. So now why can't I take another haircut or shave on Yom Tov? So that we don't say. Right? And the same thing with kvisa is the same. We want you to do your laundry before. Now, what's interesting is that on Thursday, it's mutter for the Kohanim to take a haircut l'kovet Shabbos. Right? So why don't we allow that on Chol HaMoed, l'kovet Shabbos? Right? Isn't it the most fascinating thing? This takonos chachamim that I don't understand this. If Rabbi Aaron Horowitz was here, then me and him would have a party with this. So but then the daf would really go long. Meaning the Chachamim made for the entire, they made a gezerah from then, whenever they made it 1,000 years ago, forever, that everybody's going to look ugly second day's Yom Tov. Guaranteed. Everybody's going to look ugly second day's Yom Tov because some people are going to push off their haircut till chol hamoed. Does that make any sense? I mean, from our puny little minds. Everybody looks like a slob second day's Yom Tov.
Jacob, it's more shver and shvini atzeres, but it's completely different Yom Tov.
Correct. But it's mamash a shvera thing. So I think the answer to that lies in what Akiva was saying, is that shaving changed the equation. If you took a haircut before Yom Tov, then you're not looking so ugly 5 days later, 6 days later. It's only us that shave. That
I mean, if you have a beard, it's also not saying. If you have a beard, you don't look so bad either.
Correct.
It's only the clean-shaven people.
Not any worse than you look the rest of the year.
I'm saying exactly. You plenty of times you go for 4, 5, 6 days without shaving. It's only clean-shaven people that cause the problem.
Right. So then the question is, does shaving? What's the din of shaving? So this is what Rav Soloveitchik says, and what if I remember correct, Rav Moshe also entertains this havamina, and they say, well, an einus. Why is the guy that got out of jail from overseas allowed to shave? Because he was an einus. He didn't have time to shave. He couldn't shave. He didn't have the mitzvahs. He couldn't shave. So what they say is, if you shaved before Yom Tov, you did the maximum that you could do, right? You're an einus that you have growth on chol hamoed. So since you're an einus, you couldn't. What are you gonna do? Unless you did maybe laser hair removal inside the pores of your skin, which you're not mechuyev to do for chol hamoed, right? But if you anything short of that, you're an einus. You did everything you could do to shave. So Rav Soloveitchik says that he paskins, that's why the YU and all that they paskins that yes, you can shave every day of chol hamoed, 100%, because you're an einus and you did it. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of, not that he needs my approbation, but it makes a lot of sense. And Ramesha push comes to shove is matter shaving on chol hamoed for a tzarech. For a big tzarech, like let's say as a guy has a business meeting, and so it's usually a sfira shaila. But Ramesha Lamaisa says if a guy really needs to shave to look proper on chol hamoed, then he is allowed to shave, not a haircut. Again, haircut is different. Shaving would be allowed. I'm not sure if he comes out exactly from Soloveitchik's cheshbon, but if Soloveitchik's cheshbon l'chayra, he's an einus. So that's yeah. So Akiva hit it on the head.
But Yaakov, they actually bring down Shittas Rabbeinu Tam that holds that way. And it's but it seems like most places are chaylik on that.
Yes, Rabbeinu Tam holds its mutter. Yes, you have Rabbeinu Tam to be samech on that. If you took a haircut before, like the nails. It's interesting because the nails we do pass on like Rabbeinu Tam, hair we don't. Meaning,
right? That's what I was asking. I was asking what the chilik is.
Right. So the hair, it seems like that's again that gets into what we learned two blot ago, that the halachas of chol hamoed are they're so difficult to, you can't compare one thing to the other. That's just the way it goes.
Back in the Gemara, nobody shaved. Nobody.
It doesn't seem like they certainly didn't shave on a daily basis. That's for sure.
But there was a concept of cutting your beard.
How did they shave? What did they shave?
I'm saying, was there a concept of cutting your beard back then? No, probably not.
I don't think so. I mean, there was a concept we talk about.
But then they would have mentioned that. They would have made a chiluk between that.
Yeah. Fine. Okay, so that's that contemporary thing. Okay, let's see weiter. So boy Rav Zeir of the loy aveda erev haregel. So if somebody lost something on erev haregel and he's running around looking for it, kiven to honest. Mutter, so he's an einus. The reason why he didn't take a haircut is because he was busy running after his lost item. Or maybe since it's not obvious to people, and then people are going to think, oh, he just shaved, then he can't. Right? Actually, now that reminded me, one of my siblings once shaved on chol hamoed. Either he forgot or he didn't chap. And my father was like, he says, now people are going to say that I hold that you can shave on chol hamoed. Right? Okay, whatever it is, but yeah. So here, meaning maybe here, when the guy lost an avel, nobody's gonna know that he lost an avel and he was so busy. So can we matter him to shave? So Rabbi Yoimru, what are you gonna say? Kol asrika nasur and srike baitus mutarin. This is going back in Pesach, where you're not allowed to put any markings in the matzah. So Baitus came and said, I know how to make markings in the matzah and it's not going to turn into chametz. So they said, okay, so what are we going to do? Tell everybody else they can't do it, but Baitus can do it? People are not going to know, and they're going to think it's mutter, and they're not going to know how to do it like you. So therefore, the Gemara is saying, we cannot be matir because nobody's going to know that this guy lost an aveda. So the Gemara says, well, according to you, anybody who, somebody only has one garment, he's allowed to wash on a chol hamoed. How are they going to know that this guy only has one garment? Right? You see a guy doing laundry. He has a heter because he only has one garment. Which, by the way, that's the way we pass him. That if somebody only has one garment, then he's allowed to do laundry, right? So, but how's anybody going to know he only has one garment? So what answers it? No, his belt is going to prove it, right? Meaning, when he's doing the laundry, he's going to have to wear some sort of shmata on him, and he's going to have to tie it up with a belt. So therefore, everybody's going to see that he's doing his laundry, and therefore he's not in that he only has one article of clothing. That's what he's washing, which comes out then that means the guy's wife can't do the laundry for him, and he can't give it to somebody else because then how's anybody going to know what the heter is for the laundry? Right, and then in the halacha lemaisa, Mishnah Berurah lemaisa says you can only wash one article of clothing if it taka shows, if you can show people that this is your only article of clothing. Many other poskim can disagree with that. Right, now is an interesting thing. How do you define one article of clothing? This is the way we paskin. So if you have one suit and your suit gets dirty first days, okay, so it's only one suit, then you're allowed to wash it. But let's say a woman, this is a common thing, the women have these Shabbos robes, yeah? And they got that dirty, but they want to wear the Shabbos robe second days, right? Good, so don't wear your Shabbos robe, right? May wear a different set of clothing, right? Is that called one set of clothing or not? Right? Or
has any man tried telling their wife that?
No, because they get me to tell it to them.
It's just because she wants to wear it.
One Shabbos robe?
What are you saying?
Is it allowed to only have one Shabbos robe?
That's a different shot. That I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting involved with that.
I would say whether they have one or four, they always have nothing to wear. So what's the difference?
Correct.
It's not even one.
No, but that's why you have to. And it's crazy when they call up and they say or they text, I only have one article of clothing. Now, what exactly does that mean? You only have one article of clothing, right?
One article in my mind at this second.
Right. So no, it's not pashut. Like, what exactly do you mean by that? Right? Okay, whatever. So then, yeah, it's quite time consuming to deal with these shilas and chol hamoed to try and figure it all out. But yeah, and then of course you tell them it's better to buy anyways. Okay, right? They're good with that answer.
And then you get the text from the husband.
Anyways, so that's
and you can open up the box on Shabbat on Yom Tov.
Correct.
They can order it Erev Yom Tov, get it on Yom Tov, and wear it.
And put together your couch when it comes in the mail.
Of course, 100%. Fine. Okay, so right. Rav Ashi Masni. Rav Ashi says the same Gemara. So boy Rav Zera Uman Shavdalei Aveda Erev Regel. If an Uman, see he changes it. Before it was anybody. Here it's an Uman, right? So Rashi says, like a barber, and everybody's coming to him Erev Yom Tov. So people are going to notice that he's gone. Like, where is he? Oh, he lost an aveilus. So then maybe he could take a haircut. At least the Gemara entertains him. Since he's an Uman, everybody knows he wasn't around. So it must be why is he not around? Oh, he's running around looking for his lost wallet. But Dilma, maybe it's not as obvious as these other ones, like the people coming from out of jail, etc., etc. So they can't. So teku, lemaisa, the Gemara ends up with a teku, right? So when you have a suffix of a deraisa, which the question is this a deraisa? And usually we're more machman. Fine, okay. Medina Sayam. So let's say somebody comes from Medina Sayam. Now this is also interesting. I don't know how much it's negeya. Well, I guess it is negeya, but it's negeya to this week, the week of winter vacation, or as they call it, yeshiva week. So Masnisin. So again, somebody comes from Medina Sayam. Now, why was he traveling Erev Pesach that he ended up coming home chol hamoed? Was this a voluntary traveling? Was he doing it on purpose? Right? So Masnisin, the Loiker of Yehuda. this Mishnah is not like Rabbi Yehuda, the Tani Rabbi Yehuda. Somebody who came from Medina Sayyam is not allowed to take a haircut. He went out without permission, right? So Rashi says, now what does it mean shaloi b'reshus? Rashi says he went out for biratzon. Now he wasn't an einus, meaning he wasn't forced to go.
Okay.
He wasn't forced to go. He went on his own, right? So now what some paskin like is the sheet of the Ravid, who says what it means is he went from Chutz La'aretz to Eretz Yisrael, from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz. That you're not supposed to do. You went from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz. You cannot take a haircut on chol hamoed if you came back on chol hamoed, right? That's the way the Ravid understands it. But anybody else who traveled, if within Eretz Yisrael or within Chutz La'aretz, and they came home and they were delayed, then they would be able to take a haircut.
So covered yontif doesn't apply to that guy?
Correct. It's like a knas. It's like a knas. You went from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, a chutzpah. You're not allowed to do that, and therefore you're out, right? So then it gets. I mean, this.
Jacob, if he's an einus and he got stuck, with COVID, you had that a lot of people couldn't, they couldn't get back.
And he made it back chol hamoed.
Right.
Yeah.
We know a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, but then he's einus. He didn't have a choice.
Would that fall into an einus category? Yeah.
Yeah, l'chayra. Yeah, but again, according to the Ravid, if he went to Eretz Yisrael, right, then he can't. Then even if he's an einus, he cannot take a haircut. He went to Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz. He's not. That's no good. He shouldn't have done that.
But he went in enough time and he planned it. He couldn't get back a week before.
No, the whole concept of going from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz is a no-go, right? According to the Ravid.
Okay, that's because in those times it took months to go.
No, nothing to do with it. You're not supposed to leave Eretz Yisrael.
Oh, like that.
It's gullus, man.
Yes.
I mean, because Kedusha is Eretz Yisrael, you mean?
Yes. Kedusha is Eretz Yisrael.
Even for one of the three reasons it's mutter?
What?
Even for one of the three reasons that is mutter?
I'm not sure. Yeah, fine. So Amar Rav,
What are the three reasons?
To marriage. What is it? Marriage, business, parnasa.
Marriage, business, and Talmud Torah.
Yeah, those three. Yeah, pretty valid reasons. Anyway, so Amar Rav Lashut Divrei Kol Asa. If
How about
it's
the
to
chassan
go-
of your son?
I'm not so sure.
I won't tell him.
Not so sure.
Doesn't it fall under marriage? And parnasa?
No, marriage means for
it's
you
for
to
yourself.
get married. By the way, we're very Yankee doodleized and all that. Back then, many people got married without their parents there. Right? That was an article last week of Mishpacha. They said about my Ramendel Zaks. His parents, he married the Chafetz Chaim's daughter, and his parents, his father was a balabas, and the parents didn't come to the chasana because they said it's embarrassing for the Chafetz Chaim. Everybody's going to ask who's the Chafetz Chaim's mechutin. They say, it's a working guy, it's a busha. So they didn't come to the wedding.
But isn't that where students of Kiva Ega comes from? He couldn't make his own son's. He couldn't make his own son's.
Right, but Kiva Ega couldn't make.
He couldn't travel.
Yeah.
We're big talkers. A year and a half ago, people were missing their grandchildren's chassanas all over.
True. Yeah, 100%. 100%. But
we see where the priority level is.
It's true. No, but the point is that it is more of a priority to get married than to have grandparents. That's what it is. That's what it.
Right.
I mean, we were already very spoiled generation that were able to do this, right? But anyways, fine. So Amar Rava, Chaim Kanievsky came home for his son's bris. I think the Stipler said go back to yeshiva, right, or something like that.
Rabbi Yashiv told him.
So yeah, somebody told him. There was somebody big there. That much guaranteed. Or somebody told him, get at it. We got to come to you.
The famous story from Ramesh's father. He missed his son's bris. He missed Ramesh's bris.
Yeah, I hear. Anyways, okay. So Amar Rav Lashut Divrei Kol Asur. If he's going, literal translation Lashut is to swim really. Mamash and Yonah Diyamis. So if you're going away to swim or just hang out and do nothing, then everybody holds you're not allowed to Divrei Kol Asur. You come back on Yom Tov. Oh, I went to vacation and the plane got delayed. I couldn't take a haircut. No, that's a no-go. The mezainas, if you went because you pasha needed food, Divrei Kol Mutter. Then everybody holds that that's mutter to take the haircut if you were delayed. Like They only have a machlokes if you went to make more money. You had enough money, but you went to make more money. So that's somewhere in between. One says, yeah, what are you going to earn more money for? You don't need it. So that's like going on vacation. You're not allowed to take a haircut. And the other one, the other sheet that says it's like mazinus, and therefore you're allowed to go out and you're allowed to go out and you, meaning if you come back and you're delayed, then you come back, then you're allowed to take a haircut. Fine. Meisvei, Amar Rebbe, near and Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, Kashiyatza Shaloi B'Rishus. It seems like Rabbi Yehuda is correct when he went out without Rishus that he's not allowed to take a haircut on Chol Moed, but Divrei Chachamim Kashiyatza B'Rishus. And the words of the Chachamim when he did go out. So my Shaloi B'Rishus, what does it mean Shaloi B'Rishus? If it means to go on vacation, V'amrit, we said Divrei HaKol Asa, then everybody holds it's also. Be'el Mazinus must be that he went out for Mazinus. V'amrit Divrei HaKol Mutter. Right? So it can't be that any of those two, Elapshit, the Larvicha must be talking about where he went out to make more money than he necessarily needed. So then they must Sefer, then we're gonna have a steer to the Sefer.
That's very hard to gauge. It's all relative.
It is all relative, yes. That's especially nowadays. What do you call putting money on how much having enough money? I mean, it's very
some
hard.
Some people besides having money have to know for their meluchas leverage, they have to have X amount of dollars in savings. You know what I mean?
Correct, right. I mean, we paskin that anybody who doesn't have enough money to live a year in his bank account is considered an ani. Right? Now, who nowadays has enough money to live a year in their bank accounts? That's the halach in Shulchan Aruch. Yeah. Yes.
You have to live a year, mamish?
You have enough. If you don't have enough money to live a year, then you consider it an ani.
But does it have to be a year to the same standards you're at now?
Yes. Now, the Mitzias has changed because nowadays we have paychecks. Back then, they didn't have paychecks, right? Back then, they didn't have employers and they didn't have paychecks. You went out and you earned yourself a living. One guy made a farm, and one guy had cows, and one guy had chickens, one guy schlepped the water, one guy had the milk, right? So it was, you never knew every day from what day to day where you're getting your money. So if you had stashed away some money, then that was fine. Nowadays, we don't work. America doesn't work like that.
100 years ago, people were only bad Yomi. What do you mean? Nobody.
So they were. And back then they probably were also, but that's the definition. Nowadays, you can't use that definition because nowadays we work in America and in the world, financially, we work so totally out of whack from normalcy. I mean, who goes and buys a house and borrows $1 million and he has no idea where he's paying it back from? It doesn't make, I don't think that was really, I mean, it was done back then, but not really. You saved your money till you had enough money and then you bought a house, right? That's the way it was. And if you couldn't, then you were an ani.
What do you mean? There was no concept of the mortgages, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, there was a concept of loans, but it wasn't like the way we do it. I'll buy a car now. Okay, so I'm gonna take 30 grand that I don't have and buy something. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it doesn't, but our economy works totally different. Anyways, fine. So Ema Sefer, Nirin, so I said now we have a Sefer that seems to be a stira. Nirin Divrei Chachamim, Kishayatza, David Kirschman, that wasn't a hit at you though. Ema Sefer, yeah. Nirin Divrei Chachamim, yeah. So the Chachamim, they say that the Chachamim are right when Kishayatza B'Rishus, then he went out B'Rishus. Now, my Bereshus, what does it mean he went out with permission? Right? If he's saying for food, everybody holds that you're allowed to take a haircut if you left town for food. You're doing it for profit. Right? We said that Rabbi Yehuda seems to be correct. So this whole thing is a steer. So what exactly did he mean? So this is what he meant. Rabbi Yehuda, who said you can't take a haircut, seems to appear as a correct opinion according to Rabbanan, when he went without permission. What does it mean? And what does it mean to go out? That means to go on a vacation. Because the Chachamim only disagreed with Rabbi Yehuda when he went out to make extra money. Avel he agrees. And the words of Rabbanan appear correct to Rabbi Yehuda when he goes out with permission. What does it mean to go out with permission? The Mazinus, he went up for food. Shafilu Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda only disagrees when you went out to go make extra money. Avel Mazinus, but for food, he is Moed. Fine. Okay, so that's the end of that sugya of taking haircuts. I mean, it's not the end of the sugya, but that's the bottom line is that we do not take haircuts, for sure not on chol hamoed, right? Unless you're an einus. And I think, it came up last year with people getting out of the hospital from corona during chol hamoed, right? That was a shayla. Can they take haircuts? Right? The pasha says they could take a haircut.
2 years ago.
Fine. Yeah, fine. So 2 years ago, whatever.
I signed in late, but did you discuss, Rabbi, with the tour, I think with Tosfos?
The what?
I came late, but did we discuss the machlokas? I think was it Tosfos in the tour about getting a haircut or a shave on chol hamoed?
Yes, we discussed it with Rav Soloveitch, etc. We went through the whole thing. Yeah. So thank you. Fine. So Amar Shmuel. What? Said something? Okay, so Amar Shmuel. Katan another b'mayid. This is an interesting one. A katan who's born on chol hamoed, mutar l'galeach b'mayid. He's allowed to take a haircut on chol hamoed. Now, I don't know what katan has such long hair that they need to give him a haircut. A baby that's born on chol hamoed, right? There's no bigger jail than being in the mother's womb. How's he supposed to get a haircut?
No upshoring?
No up. He says, taka. What this is a proof for no upsharing, but maybe this is a modern guy. Who knows, right?
I think the kalba is the first source for that anyway. That would be after this.
That's okay, but yeah, they base it on though. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the moed ain't in may karaloi. So it sounds like only if he's born on chol hamoed. But if the baby's born before Yom Tov, then you're not allowed to. Right, because you should have given him the haircut. You should have given the baby the haircut before. Now, what is with katanim? Can you give haircuts or not to katanim on chol hamoed? The ma'isa we paskin, you are allowed to give a katan a haircut on chol hamoed. You're even allowed to do an upsharing davar on chol hamoed. Right? It's mutter to do on chol hamoed. Yeah. So massive repentance. A katan doesn't have to keep this gezerah. There's no gezerah on the katan for this.
Why is it any different than any other isser that or whatever? Katan doesn't have to keep muktzah once he reaches chinuch.
Once he reaches chinuch, yes, but
so then why is that zera any different?
I meant the katan. I meant a katan like a 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old.
I mean, he's waiting 3 years. He can't wait another 4 days till after Yom Tov. What's the big deal?
Everybody's off. They want to.
They wait for Lag BaOmer. They wait for Lag BaOmer for how many weeks?
No, but
they can't wait till after Yom Tov.
It's a cheap chol hamoed trip. They got nothing to do, so they're gonna make a upsharing on chol hamoed, and that's all. Give out peklach, and then that's occupies everybody's day. But people are available, whatever it is. So anyway, so Masavra Pinchas, all these that we say that it's mutter for them to take a haircut on chol hamoed, they're also allowed to take the haircut in aveilus. But if mashma that if it's also for them to take a haircut on chol hamoed, then it would be also avel. So on to Amud Beis, be amar katan ispe plukta. And if you're gonna say that a katan, now this doesn't mean plukta normally means a machlokes. It took me a while to figure this out. It doesn't mean machlokes here. It means a machlokes means a difference, right? When people have differences of opinions, it's called a plukta. So here too, amar katan ispe plukta. By a katan, that there's a difference, not a machlokes, that there's a difference, meaning if he's born on chol hamoed, he could take a haircut. If he's born before chol hamoed, he can't take a haircut. Nimtzas aveilus neheges bekatan. Then what comes out is you're going to say, okay, so if the kid needed a haircut before his aveilus, so he's not allowed to take a haircut during aveilus. So that means you're holding that aveilus is naig by a katan. Vatani mekaran lekatan mipnei agmas nefesh. The only reason why we do kriya on a katan is because we want to cause people to feel bad. You hear a kid saying kaddish and shul, everybody feels terrible, right? So you see a kid by a shiva with a torn garment, so everybody feels bad. But the bottom line is a kid is pater from aveilus. I remember when we were sitting shiva, my father's yard side is Motzei Shabbos, right? So we were sitting shiva. My youngest sister was still a katan. She wants to know if she could go hang out outside. And friends say, yeah, no gesundheit. I'm saying she didn't have aveilus. She taught kriya because of this. But that's it. She didn't have, there was no aveilus. What? For what?
Baltashkas of the.
Oh, why isn't it baltashkas? That's a good question. Because it's not baltashkas because we want to cause people to have agmas nefesh. So anytime you have a reason, it's not baltashkas.
You mean
Right?
for a cotton? It's a chinuch.
For a
also,
cotton,
no?
he's asking for a cotton.
Yeah, but,
Why
it's
is
a,
it not
but it's a
baltashkas?
chinuch. It's chinuch also.
Right? No, it's a chinuch. That's correct. It's a chinuch. It's a chinuch. But yeah. But I'm saying there's a reason to tear kriyas and mameli. Since there's a reason to tear
It doesn't
kriyas,
sound like it's chinuch. It sounds like it's. It doesn't sound like it's chinuch. It sounds like it's for other people. It's nothing to do with the katan. It comes out of this. It's not chinuch for the katan. Why is the katan involved in aveilus at all? It sounds like it's for other people.
No, it's not.
No,
there isn't. There isn't. It's whatever. Agmas nefesh, whichever reason.
But it's not chinuch. We're not being mechanic the child who al chinuch to learn how to do aveilus or to keep the hilchos aveilus. He doesn't even keep hilchos aveilus.
What does that mean? Why wouldn't it be a
Rashi
chinuch?
says that the whole reason is for other people to cry. It's nothing to do with the child itself.
Well, whatever the reason is, it's not going to be about tashlis. That's the bottom line, right? Somebody just asked me an interesting.
About hunting.
Man, you really want to get involved in every issue today? You know, I thought you were going to say the Noid Yehuda about taking haircuts on chol hamoed. Yeah, if there's going to be a Noid Yehuda, you're going to mention that should be the one, right?
I was going with the baltashkas.
Okay,
That's the hunting one.
Yeah. Can you hunt on chol hamoed? And they'll say, okay, now we stelled it too. Okay, good. Anyway, fine. So either way, that the kasha is, so that means that you're saying that a katan does have to keep aveilus. Did we say that they are asur? We're going to say maybe there are those of avelim that are asur. There are people that are asur to kshev on chol hamoed, and v'yeshmen that are mutter, and there are those that are mutter, and the same thing on for aveilus. Right, but it doesn't mean that a katan can't shave for aveilus. A katan can. Fine. Ameimar v'temer of shisha breidu of idi masni hachi. Amar Shmuel katan mutter legalche b'moed. Right. This is what we said. We paskin. A katan is allowed to take a haircut on chol hamoed. Loishna noile b'moed. Loishna noile meikara. There's no difference whether he was born on chol hamoed or before. A katan does not have to keep this din. Right. I think from what I remember, the pshat is because the whole point is that he shouldn't come into, there's no isser be'etzem to take a haircut on chol hamoed. It's because we want you to take it before. That's not up to the katan, right? The katan is not meant to be arranging his own haircuts, right? Fine. So Amar Pinchas, Afan Anami Tanina, Kol Elu Shomer, and this is just the opposite or a similar gear. So Amar Pinchas, Afan Anami Tanina, Kol Elu Shomer, Mutu L'Galeach B'Moed, Mutu L'Galeach B'Mei Aveiloi. And all that we said that you're allowed to take a haircut on chol hamoed or mutter aveilus ha'asur l'galeach b'moed. But if they're asur to take a haircut on chol hamoed, then asur l'galeach b'mei aveilus, they're also asur to take a haircut during aveilus. Iyam katan asur. So if you say that a katan is not allowed to take a haircut, nitza aveilus nehegas b'katan, then you see that there's aveilus neheg b'katan. V'tani mekaron l'katan b'mei agmas nefesh. That the only reason why we do kriya for a katan is because of agmas nefesh. But that's it. So Amar Ravashi mikatani ha'asurin. Dilma Yeshman also Yeshman Mutter. It doesn't say they are usher. There just says there are some that are usher and there are some that are mutter. Okay, that's all right. That's it. So that's their run on there. Fine. So there's different gears, but the same Gemara point is that a katan is allowed to take. Well, this according the first pshat is we're saying that there are some that could take haircuts, some not, and a katan most certainly can. Fine. Now we're going to go through for the next block all the different isurim, whether they apply to an avel. They definitely apply to an avel. Then the Gemara is going to go through, do they also apply to somebody who's in cherem, and do they apply to a metzora? All the things that are also. Yeah, so we start with avel. Ein noyeg aveilus beregel. And avel, he is not noyeg aveilus on Yom Tov. Shenemer v'samachta b'chagecha. So you have to be happy on your chav. I aveilus temei karahu. If his aveilus was there before Yom Tov, right? This was Nageya to Naphtali line, right? So aveilus to make karahava. If the aveilus was there before Yom Tov, also say the rabbim, say the yochid. Mitzvah to say of the rabbim, which is to be b'simcha on Yom Tov with other people, is more important. And dachade asay the yochid, the mitzvah asay of a yochid, which is his aveilus. It's a mitzvah asay, which Taisus discusses, right? That it's a mitzvah asay. Right? It's a mashma that's a mitzvah say daraisa. Right? but it's really not. It's really a derabbanan. Huh?
What
really,
no.
We're talking about the aveilus. Is aveilus the deraisa? Is aveilus the rabbanan? So we had a
Isn't the
Gemara
first
before
day
that
according to everyone?
What?
How do you have aveilus before? How do you have such a case? The Yom Tov stops it.
And I've told you, this is the Gemara that just told us that. This is the Gemara. It says if you had meikara, if you had aveilus meikara, the aveilus is daichet.
This is the source. This is the source for that.
This is it, Naftali. It's
Isn't
hard to
it?
understand.
Aveilus stop.
I understand.
Not the aveilus stop. Not the
aveilus the
Yom Tov.
meikara. It says if the aveilus is meikara, meaning it was there from the beginning, before Yom Tov, then comes the mitzvah of Yom Tov, the Rabbim, which is a public mitzvah, and it's daicha the asay of the yachid, which is the avel. So since even though he was sitting shiva before, exactly.
Okay.
So what's the problem?
No, I'm saying
that's the first
means, when it's finished, you continue. Daicha is that it continue. You're doing something else, and it stops it. There's no.
It stops it, right? It pushes it away.
Okay.
It pushes it away, right?
Okay.
The aveilus tahashtahu, and if the aveilus happened on chol hamoed, what do you say? No, okay. The aveilus tahashtahu, and if the aveilus started on chol hamoed, then lo yasi asay the yachid v'dachei asay the rabbim. Then meaning you're not going to have the asay of the yachid, the aveilus come and push away the asay the rabbim. So in both scenarios, there is no aveilus. Right? The only thing is by chol hamoed, if the person's niftar on chol hamoed, then the aveilus starts after Yom Tov. Right? Now, what kind of aveilus? The Gemara doesn't say. It sounds like from the Gemara that there's no aveilus at all, not even betzina. Right? Now, the way we paskin is that if the aveilus started before Yom Tov, then taka aveilus is totally over by Yom Tov, and even dvarim shebetzina are allowed. Dvarim shebetzina meaning relations and learning Torah. Right? But if the aveilus starts on chol hamoed, there is still aveilus betzina. Right? So let's say the Levi is on first day chol hamoed, the avel still really not allowed to learn and not allowed to have relations. That's because that's aveilus betzina that you still have to keep. It's only the things that are in the rabbin.
And showering.
What? And showering is also
no showers either.
Correct. Yeah, but there for covered Yom Tov, there's already fine.
Even in the sukkah, it's betzina.
What?
I mean, if it's chol hamoed sukkah, so he's sitting in the sukkah. Other people sitting in the sukkah there.
Right. So what's the problem? He's
that's also. I'm saying that's also private.
I mean, it's a sukkah. Yeah. I mean, it's no different than his house. No. Fine. So
what's with aninus?
What's with it?
Is there aninus on chol hamoed?
Yeah, there's aninus on chol hamoed.
Why isn't that a say the yachid being mevatel asay the rabbim?
I think simply because Isaac b'mitzvah potem and a mitzvah. Oh, you're going to say the mitzvah of Yom Tov came first?
No, because that is be'etzem the din of aninus. The mitzvah of aninus or the chiyuv is not to do mitzvahs.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. But anyway, I don't know. So I think that's a pshat. So it's mitzvah. Fine. Menuda mal sheyinig nidui beregel. Does a niduya beregel? Does a menuda, somebody who's in chayrim, does he have chayrim on a Yom Tov? Some of Yosef Tashima, Danin, Dinin Nefashos, Dinin Makas, Dinin Mominus. We can don Dinin Nefashos, like for capital cases or capital, that's it called. Dine Makas and Dine Mominus. Vi Loitzayas Dina, and if he doesn't listen to the din, Misham Sinala, we put him in chayrim. So on chol hamoed. And if we say that there's no such thing as chayrim on Yom Tov, right? Are we gonna allow if somebody were gonna make him into chayrim meikara, asu regel dachile, and the Yom Tov comes and pushes it out, we're gonna give him chayrim on chol hamoed. Meaning, if you hold that there's no such thing as chayrim from before Yom Tov, so then how are you going to go put a guy in chayrim on Yom Tov? Right?
Maybe it's for after Yom Tov, so that he's in chayrim right after Yom Tov ends.
So then wait till after Yom Tov.
But you can't be donning people at night. So maybe they want him to be to to get cherem the second after Yom Tov is over.
Oh, so so the Gemara is
like the next business day.
No, but we don't want to wait till the next business day. This guy deserves to be in cherem from even chol hamoed, so it'll take effect the second after Yom Tov is done.
Right. So that's right. So I guess they can't do that. I guess they can't. Once you're in cherem, they can't do it that it starts at a certain time. I think, but I don't know enough about dinim of cherem. Even though we're going to be doing the halachas of cherem, not tomorrow's daf, the next daf after that. It's all about cherem. Anyway, so the Gemara discusses something along those lines. I'll keep it now. So now we have no proof. So Amrale Abaya, but we do have a proof. We're trying to say that there's no cherem. I'm sorry, there must be that there is cherem on chol hamoed, because otherwise, why would they be able to put this guy into cherem? So Amrale Abaya, maybe it doesn't mean that they're actually doing a din. Maybe it means that they're just looking into his din. Like Tema Hachi, din in the Fash to Katani. This that we said you're allowed to don din in the Fashis. Does that mean we're going to kill him on chol hamoed? The Bezdin is not going to have simchas yontif. The Tanya Rabbi Kiva, I remember the Sanhedrin. Sharo be'echad shehagos, and ever that Sanhedrin sees somebody kill somebody. She'ain time in kolais hayom, meaning if they're killing somebody, yeah, so they're not allowed to eat that day, right? How do you know? Because don't eat on blood, right? Which we really normally mean that you're not allowed to eat blood, but it says meaning don't eat while somebody's blood is being spilled. So it can't be talking about where they actually done din in the fashus, because then that would ruin their Yom Tov, because they wouldn't be able to eat. It must be that they're looking into the din. Here too, right? That they're just looking into whether they should put him into cherem or not. So he said back, Imkain nimtzes ma'anes dina. What you're doing is you're causing him pain and din, because he's gonna have to wait around. So asu mitzafra. Right? They can come in the morning, and look into the din, and they can go out and eat and drink a whole day, and then they can come by shkia, and finish the din, and then kill him. Right?
Meaning stall?
What do you say?
Meaning stall.
They're stalling, meaning let them eat a whole day. So that this is Mekayim Simchas Yom Tov. Then they could paskin on him dead, and then they kill him. Now, it can't be Shkia Sachama Mamish, because Bez is not let a paskin din in the fashas at night. So it has to be before Shkia. Right? So, yes, so Amar Abaye, Toshma, Menuda Shetiru Le Chachamim. The Mishnah says a Menuda that they mated him. So what does that sound like? That sounds like he was in Cherem on Yom Tov, and then they canceled it. So it's mashra that there is a Cherem on Yom Tov. Otherwise, how do you have cherem on? Otherwise, how do you have cherem that they canceled? So Marava Mikatani Shiti Ruhu Chachamim. Here we need diktuk. Yeah, here, this is for you, Gershon. Yeah, does it say that the Chachamim were mater him? It doesn't say that. Shetiru Chachamim Katani. It says that they were mater him. I don't know how you touch it different exactly, but what does it mean? The Azul Paise Lebaldina. What happened is that the situation changed. He went and he asked Mechila from his Baldin. And then the Rabbanon mated it for him. Right? So l'chayr, it still sounds like there's such a thing as cherem on Yom Tov. Okay, fine. What about a Mitzayra? So is a Mitzayra have his regular dinim? Right? We learned that a couple of weeks ago, that a Mitzayra gets locked up for a week and then potentially 2 weeks. Does he get out of his lockdown for a Yom Tov? So the Mishnah says a Nazir and Mitzayra go from the Tumah to Tara. Chabi made Tumah, no. Mashma, that if he's in his days of Tumah, then he has to be Noyagit. So the Gemara says, Lemi Bai Kamar. That's not how you understand it. So Lemi Bai be made Tumah, so do Loy Noyag. I goes without saying that if we're not knowing as you made tuma avel tarasai, right? But for his tyra, meaning the shibanikim, and to make him turn nigza shema yisha karbanai. So maybe if we're going to let him out of his tyra, maybe he's not going to bring his carbon. He's got to bring that carbon right away, right? On the 7th day, right? He cuts his hair and then he brings the karbanos. Yeah, so we're afraid that since he's already partying on Yom Tov, maybe he's going to say, I'll just bring my carbon later. So you would think that Kamash Malan, that's not the case, right? So therefore, we don't have any raya from the mission. Fine. So Amar Rava Toshima about Sarua, when it says the word Sarua, the Rabbis Kohen Gadol comes to include a Kohen Gadol that he can also become a tzaraas. But Kohen Gadol the Kol Hashana Karegel Kuli Amadomi. A Kohen Gadol the whole year round is like regel, because the Kohen Gadol has obviously different dinim. The Tanan Kohen Gadol Makar of Einin. A Kohen Gadol is allowed to bring a carbon when he's an Einin. An Einin, or somebody who just lost a relative before burial, is not allowed to. Normally, he's not allowed to bring a carbon, because a Kohen Gadol can be Makar of Einin, Beina Eichel, but he can't eat it. He can't eat the carbon. Shmami no noyeg tzaraas averegel. So it must be that we're noyeg tzaraas on Yom Tov. Shmami no. So therefore, we hear from this that's what that there is tzaraas. The dinim of tzaraas are on Yom Tov. Let's just do one more, because we got to do a little more tomorrow night, because Friday's daf Bez Hashem is very long. Yeah, avel also b'tispirus, and avel is also with a haircut. Because the Torah told Bnei Aaron when Nadav and Avihu died, Rashechem al tifru, don't grow your head long. We're gonna have two places.
Jacob, just very quickly, how is the Kohen Gadol able to go to the mikvah before being makriv? He's Einan.
How's he allowed to go? I don't know. Is he already considered tar?
I don't know.
Why does he need to go to mikveh?
After before he went to be in Makkah Karbonis, the
no, I think he probably went to mikveh that morning. No, but this is before the Levaya.
Maybe he died at night. You don't know when he's earning it from.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, I don't know. I'm not sure how that works.
Well,
but
what am I missing? He doesn't go to the Levaya. He's not allowed to go to the Levaya.
Kohen Gadol?
Yeah, he can't become tummy. Even the Shiva Krivim he can't. So Kohen Hadya to Shiva Krivim.
What the sister?
Kohen Gadol is only a Mace Mitzvah. Only a Mace Mitzvah.
Only Mace Mitzvah, correct. But he could go to Levaya, he just can't be close. Something.
Can't become tummy.
Yeah.
Can't be mitame. It's a Krivim.
Yeah, that's true. There's a pasuk with the sister, right? There's a diak from the
Achaisai. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so an avel is not, I'll take a haircut. Now we learn it from the aveilus, from Aaron Akayim, from whatever, from what is it called? Nadav and Avihu, and also we learn it from Yecheskel, because when Yecheskel was an aveilus, Hashem told him not to keep certain dinim. From that, we're medayik what he has to keep. So here it says that the Aaron should not let his hair grow long. Right, that was one of the things that. What is it? How often does a Kohen Gadol take a haircut? Once a week? Once a day?
Once a day.
I think it was once a day, right? So Kohen Gadol takes a haircut once a day. So it's very important that Kohanim are kempt. So the Torah said, Hashem told Aaron, don't grow your hair long. All other avelim do have to grow their hair long. Right? On to Amud Aleph. Menudin and Mitzvah, Mahim b'Tisvaris. What about some in Chayrim? Right? So Toshma, Menudin Mitzvah, Asurun l'saper l'kavis. Menudin and Mitzvah are asur to take haircuts and to wash. Menuda shemes, right? So somebody who's in Chayrim and he dies, Bezdin cycling a sarani, they throw rocks at his aron. Not that they put a whole pile of stones on top of his kaver, not his kaver, his I guess it's his kaver. Kagala shel achan, like achan, right? Achan, they what do you call it? They really gave him bad treatment. Ela Bezdin sholchin umanichin evan gedoyla alarani. What Bezdin does, they put one big stone on his aron to show that this guy's in chayrim. Do you have anybody who is in chayrim and he dies when he's in chayrim? Bezdin cycling as arani, then they throw stones at his aron. To the shayla, exactly what the Gemara meant by adding this last thing. It seems to be superfluous. Yeah. Okay, whatever it is. So we'll stop here, and everybody should have themselves.
Yeah, did they do that to Rabbi Eliezer?
Is there a Gemara about that?
Remember at the end of his life, they came to him and he told them how much they missed out on their learning because of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying Lamaisi, he died in Chayrim, no?
He did, yes.
So would they cycle it?
I don't remember. Isn't there a Gemara about that? There is a Gemara about it. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. I don't remember.
They bring down They bring down from the Drisha. He says B'Shiv the Rambam. This was only for people that were kaifrim.
Is that so?
That's what they bring down from the Drisha that he's quoting the Rambam.
It's all what? Can you repeat that, Akiva?
They bring down from the Drisha that it's only for people that are kaifrim. This idea. I don't know if he's
cycling.
The Drisha says it's B'Shem the Rambam. I don't know. I don't know which Rambam this is. Yeah, that they're cycling.
The stoning thing. Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't. It's not mashma like that from the Gemara, but maybe it's just saying that these menudim, the menudim, it has to be a zal level of menudim that you're a kaifer basically, not stam. Somebody's putting chayrim.
Yeah, I was thinking that all the tanoim that were put in chayrim is a different kind of chayrim.
That's what I was asking. Right.
Yeah.
Chayrim.
Even if it's not for kfira, but the tanoim that were put in chayrim, it is a different kind of chayrim.
Well, it seems like it was a real chayrim because they didn't learn Torah from him anymore.
Right, to some extent, yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Shikayach.
All right.
Which Night of Yehuda were you talking about before? The Night of Yehuda, which one?
With the one with the shaving. He's got that whole thing where he mattered the shaving and
the shaving.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. No, he was talking about Val Tashkas. I remember the famous Night of Yehuda on hunting. Yeah. But you should learn.
Big mafloikis there.
Bittul Torah is the problem anyway, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Fascinating sugyas these. I don't understand this Rashi Tosfos here. The Asay Yachid of aveilus. Why does Tosfos think it's mashma to deraisa?
Everyone's gonna come. Whatever.
What? What are you saying?
Tosfos says it's mashma the Asay deraisa of aveilus. Why? How? Why would? What's? I don't understand Tosfos. What's the mashmos? There's such a klal of Asay derabim doicha Asay yachid.
I don't know. Why are you asking on Tosfos and it's kash on the Gemara?
No, because Rashi says it means it's rabbanon. He goes to avel the 7 Yirmiyah. Avel yachid asilach.
I'm saying
it's not a say deraisa.
I don't know if it's your classic. Asay is doichen asay.
There is no such thing as an asay doicha asay. I mean that's the klal. Asay doicha lois asay. V'loi asay asay v'dochi asay.
I hear. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know what Tosfos wants.
Yeah. All right, I got somebody here.
Yeah, here. Okay.
All right.
Shikayach.
Okay, Zagazin. All right, bye-bye.
Topic.